What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Room. This is episode number 61, and as we look at the calendar, you will see us today face Midtjylland, Norwich and Chelsea. Looking at our Europa League Group F, we have won 3 from 3 so far. So a win today against the Danish side will see us progress through to the knockout stages. And we beat Midtjylland in the reverse fixture. Obviously, this is the back-to-back. We beat them in Denmark 3-2. Cruised to a 3-0 lead, and then they scored a couple goals late on to make it a nervy ending, but we did manage to get the 3 points there, and 3 points here will see us progress through a group that I did expect us to win, but nothing's guaranteed. You have to beat what's in front of you, and I've been impressed with our performances so far. And obviously, with the way the team's playing, we've been able to rotate the squad as well, which is helping us in the league. We're doing quite well in the league so far as well. 10 games in, I think we're third, so not a bad return at all. Obviously, we make the changes. Hosselu is a standard starter in the Europa League. He doesn't really feature in the league. We brought him in for his European experience, and he starts up top with Alexander Isak, who gets his first start and first minutes since March. So good to see the Swede back in the side. Hopefully, he can stay fit for now and have a good run of form under his belt. Well, Midtjylland obviously know that they are still in a good position to go through in this group. I still back them to finish ahead of Duke Split and Helsinki, but I still believe we will get the better of them. And we forced their keeper into a couple of early good saves as we settle down into this one before Jacob Ramsey, the new boy, gets us off the mark. 15 minutes in, a fantastic finish, post and in on his so-called weaker foot. Look at this angle as well, by the way. Beautiful. What a way to kick off the game here. Perfect start for us. We lead 1-0. Just a few minutes later, Dean Henderson, well, he wouldn't be tested because he would see a shot just go wide of his post. Isaacson with a great chance for the visitors, a good chance for them to equalise. But the shot goes just wide, and then with just over 10 minutes to go before half-time, the Midtjylland have a player down in the box, but we play on, and Benjamin Farmer, he steps over him as he scores the goal. Great Travella shot there from the Youth Academy player. He makes it 2-0. And then 5 minutes to go before half-time, Bella Kotchap, he gives away a penalty. I actually thought the first initial contact was a penalty, and then I didn't press anything, and then it was a penalty. I'm not really sure what was going on there. But anyway, they have a chance to half the deficit just before half-time. But Dean Henderson comes up trumps. He saves Armel's blushes. Well, Hosselu would get his token goal. Our resident Europa League striker makes it 4-4 for the Spaniard just on the stroke of half-time. So we're able to make a couple of subs with this game pretty much wrapped up. Brennan Johnson, one of those subs, his shot would fly just past the far post before 20 minutes to go. I had to show this. Nico Williams absolutely disrespects the Midtjylland defender. Little step over and then the fake through his legs. He gets taken out. Luckily, he's not injured there, but I just had to show that because I'm not normally one for skills on this game, but that one did make me chuckle. And then Brennan Johnson, I mean, this guy he's just made the goals right now. He makes it 4, and in injury time, as we see the game out, a 4-0 victory for Forest sees us progress through Group F in the Europa League. Very comfortable, I must say, in those 4 games. And now, even though the top position isn't secured, it means that I can rotate the squad going into these last 2 games, which is huge because those last 2 games come in a very busy December period. So it will be good to be able to rotate players as we have a 6-point gap. The top spot isn't confirmed just yet technically, but we pretty much have it in the bag. So I'll be able to rotate the squad there, which is really, really handy indeed, actually. And before we head into the second game of the episode, a few contracts to hand out. A bunch of players whose contracts run out at the end of this summer. I will be letting a couple of them go for free. A couple of them youth players, a couple of them retiring, a couple of them maybe just not good enough anymore. But we would give a few players some contracts. The youngsters, Greenwood and Smith, would get bumper new deals, securing their futures at the City Ground for a few years to come. Greenwood has impressed me, and Smith as well. I really like him as a long-term replacement backup, I guess, right back for Sufal, who's retiring this season. playing behind Nico Williams. Dean Henderson and Nico Williams, the fullback, would both extend their contracts as well. They're both massive players for us, so that was the no-brainer. And then Jack Butland, we give him a year extension as well. He's a quality backup goalkeeper for us. He's obviously aging now, but he's put in some really good performances whenever we've needed him in the club competitions. And he saw out a win against Liverpool in the cup in just the last episode, so I felt like he warranted a year extension. Now going into the second game of the episode, Norwich, you would have seen there, Brennan Johnson, the league top scorer with 9 goals. The Welsh Wizard is on fire right now. We would revert back to a very well-known team that you've come accustomed to watch with Nottingham Forest. Despite Norwich being in 18th in the relegation zone with no wins to their name and only 7 goals scored in 10 games, I'm not taking them for granted, okay? These are the games you have to make sure you put your foot down and win if you want to be competing for top 4 places and maybe even title. Who knows? But yeah, Norwich, the first time they are in the Premier League in this career mode. We've faced them twice before in cup competitions, both at Carrow Road, winning both of those games. And we would go get off to the perfect start. Brennan Johnson gets his 10th already of the league campaign, 10 in 11 for him. He makes it 1-0 before Dean would actually have to make a really good save, and then Angus Gunn would come up trumps to stop Forest doubling their lead. Well, he couldn't do anything about this one here. In injury time in the first half, Taiwo Awoniyi runs through before squaring it to the Spaniard Nico Williams, and he would get our second of the game. But the visitors would halve the deficit 5 minutes into the second half. A shot is saved by Dean, and then it unfortunately bounces straight back to their striker, who would convert. And then Dean is called into action here, stopping a Sargent's shot. So all of a sudden, the visitors a bit of momentum with that goal, and we are lucky to still be leading 2-1. Now, I mean, this is one of the passes of the entire this entire career mode. Brennan Johnson, he puts it over, but Renan Lodi, what a ball that was from the left back. With 15 minutes to go, we make a couple of subs. Taiwo and Maguire subbed off for Adarabioyo and Alexander Isak, who makes his first Premier League appearance for 7 months. Great to see him back in the squad. And he is involved here as we would get that 2-goal cushion back. Brennan Johnson, who else? 11 in 11 for him now. He makes it 3-1 after a nice assist from Jacob Ramsey. And we would see that game out, so we ensure Norwich remain winless after their first 11 games in the league. They do add to their 7 goals, they're now on 8, but we add another victory into our column. We couldn't get the clean sheet, which was a bit disappointing, but we get the 3 points, and that's all that matters. Keep racking up these points early doors. We're 11 games in. It's just, I feel that something feels different this season. We're being clinical, but we also feel a bit better defensively. I know we've conceded 18 goals, but that's also an improvement. I mean, Man City have conceded 18 goals and they're undefeated, so crazy stuff. But yeah, as you will see from the table there, we are top. For the first time, we are top. Actually, no, for the first time since match day 1, we are top of the table, ahead of Liverpool in goal difference. But if you had noticed there as well, the top 8 is separated by 3 points. Us in first and Tottenham in 8th, 3 points. So that is honestly, that top battle is so enthralling to see. I love being involved in it, and long may it continue throughout the season, because that will just make it super exciting as when we get to the back end of the campaign. Well, going into the third and final game, we would face one of those sides in that top 8, Chelsea, who are, along with Man City, unbeaten in the league. 5 wins, 6 draws for the West London club, as they look to continue their good history against us. We have had some good close battles with Chelsea, but more often than not, they have come out on top against us. I'm glad to see Patrick Schick isn't in the side anymore, because he is a thorn in our side. But it's still a strong Chelsea squad, as always. Well, 10 minutes in, they would have a really good chance. Berardi, the Italian, firing just wide before Enzo Fernandez is found through in the box. He forces Dean into a good save as Chelsea look to build on a really good start here. Dean, again, called into action, stopping Kolo Muani. 25 minutes in, Kolo Muani again would force Dean into a save as Chelsea, I'll be honest, in this game, they were all over us. We were really struggling to make it out of our half. But when we did, we countered with prowess. And Nico Williams, the Spaniard, gets around his marker before his shot crashes off the bar. So unlucky here. Mendy was beating all ends up. It bounces up as he volleys it and crashes off the top of the bar. And you can see the fans in the background there. They are disappointed. They can't believe that hasn't gone in. Well, after that, we found a bit of confidence and we would rattle the woodwork again. Cyankov with a lovely little reverse ball into Taiwo Awoniyi. He hits the post, and then the Nigerian would shoot again, but Mendy denies him. And a much better end to the end of the first half than we started. And well, like I said, just on the brink of half time. Honestly, injury time goals in the first half or the second half are so common. You honestly, if you just keep going until the final whistle, because the chances are you will get a golden opportunity to score. And we make it 1-0. Lovely couple of headers. The hockey assist from Nico Williams, and then a nice little header onto Taiwo, who converts from six or 7 yards out. 1-0 to the visitors. Maybe against the run of play, but the last 10 minutes we hit the woodwork twice, and we finally got hit the back of the net. Well, the lead wouldn't last too long. Going into the second half, 55 minutes on the clock. Enzo Fernandez, the Argentinian, would smash it in the near post. Really disappointing that Dean conceded this one, but Chelsea level on terms. And then it was quite a quiet second half. Both teams were really just. It felt like one of those where neither wanted to lose the game. Not many chances in the second half at all. Taiwo did have a great opportunity here, though, the best one of the second half. Through on goal, definitely should have scored. The shot goes straight at Mendy. Even despite him scoring a few goals this season, Taiwo just hasn't been on it as much. He's obviously set such high standards for himself that I think he's maybe got 6 or 7 goals, but already in like 12 games, and for me that's poor for him. But he's not been quite on it, and like that chance there, he would have bagged that if it was last season or the season before that. But I always believe in Taiwo; he will come good. And ultimately, I'll take a point away at Chelsea. A side that haven't lost this season. We managed to take a draw away from Stamford Bridge. It's not the worst result, as we see Viktor Cyankov's injury. It's just a 5-dayer. Lovely stuff. But that will be it for today's episode 61. We round it off here with the league table. We're sat in third, so we dropped from first to third, but we're still in a really, really good position. That top 8 is tightly congested, as we soon will be entering the busy month of December. But if you're enjoying the series, drop it a like. Make sure you sub to the channel, and I'll catch you in episode 62 very soon.